You'd have had to be living under a rock to have missed the bombardment of those bunker buster bombs on the B-2 planes straight from Missouri over into Iran. In theory, taking out all of the dodgy regime's uranium enrichment sites. Trump claimed it to be a massive success, but actually, was it? Because there's various elements now of American intelligence and Israeli intelligence pouring some cool water onto those claims. Concerns are actually that Tehran, there's a whole load of trucks lined up 3 days before the bombardment, and concerns are that Tehran may well have managed to move enriched uranium to other places where they might have other centrifuges squirreled away deep under mountains or even hidden in plain sight in civilian areas where they're going to continue at a pace trying to get a nuclear warhead. Let's speak now to Yosef Haddad, who's an Arab-Israeli journalist. Yosef, welcome to the show. First time I've had you on, so great to have your company. How much of a job do you think America managed to get done? How concerned are you that actually the task has not been finished and actually, in fact, it might have sort of put rocket boosters up the Iranians' intent to create nuclear warheads?
First, Alex, thank you very much for having me on the show, and I'm happy also for the first time together with each other. As far as the Iranian regime and the job that those B-52 done, look, I've always said it. We've done a massive success when it comes to striking the Iranian regime facilities and the nuclear facilities. We've pushed them back several years, according to some of the intelligence that we've been hearing lately. But I also said we did not finish the job. Let me do a comparison. Let's go back to World War II. Imagine if the United States, Britain, and its allies would say, oh, you know what, we did our job, we beaten the Nazi regime, we've beaten Hitler, but he can stay. He can stay in his power, he can stay in Germany, he can rebuild, and still manage to command over this country. Hitler and the Nazi party would never, ever left their goal, and their goal was the final solution. And everybody knows what the final solution is. This is exactly one-to-one when we speak about the IRGC and the Ayatollah. Their final solution is the destruction of the state of Israel because they want to arrive to the United States, because they want to arrive to the entire Western world. And it starts and begins here in the Middle East. And the only thing stopping them from conquering the Middle East is Israel. And the only one thing is stopping them from actually fighting head-to-head with the United States is Israel. And the only one thing is stopping them from actually making a mass destruction and problem in the Western world and civilization is Israel. So yes, when I hear a lot of people say we should thank Israel, I do think that people around the world should thank us. We put ourselves in danger. I'm an Israeli citizen. Arabs and Jews who live in Israel put themselves in danger against the sadistic regime that has nothing but destruction in the future of this world. And they have only one purpose, and it is the fact that they want to control the world. This is not something that I'm exaggerating in, because you know what? It's not even my analysis. It's what they're speaking. So just listen to your enemies and listen to what they want, and then you realize that we did not finish the job. So yeah, you might be right. You might be right. They might move their uraniums to a different place. But the only way to ensure the safety and the freedom of the Iranian people and the safety of the Middle East and the Western world is to finalize the job, do the job, and get rid of the Iranian regime.
I mean, there's been a whole sort of, contentious argument over whether or not Trump was calling for regime change, whether or not Netanyahu's calling for regime change, whether or not it's the right thing to do, what might fill up that vacuum. Is it going to be worse? Is it going to be more dangerous? But I get the impression, despite what various Gulf nations might be saying outwardly, probably to sate the, ideologies of their own people who, by and large, as Muslim countries, might have a bit of an issue with Israel existing. I would imagine a lot of Gulf nations are sort of tacitly saying to Tel Aviv, go on then, please get rid of this troublesome beast, because if Iran does manage to get a nuclear weapon, that's them controlling the entirety of the Middle East, putting dangerous weapons into the hands of terrorist organizations, destabilizing the entire neighborhood. When I get the impression a lot of Gulf states are sitting there going, we've westernized, we kicked out the Muslim Brotherhood, we know what extremism looks like, we don't like Muslim terrorism, we have banged really hard on top of these mad people who want to destabilise our countries. We want to go for peace. I mean, the Abraham Accords were a clear indication that that was the direction of travel. Do you think that what has happened, I mean, clearly Iran and their proxies starting October the 7th wanted to make sure that the Abraham Accords were disrupted. Do you think they have been?
All right, so this is a fantastic question, and I'm smiling through when you're asking that question for simple reasons. The first one, whatever the Arab leaders are saying in front of the camera, they're saying 180-degree, completely the opposite side behind the scenes. I can tell you 100% that the Arab leaders, especially in the Gulf, whether it's Qatar, yes, Qatar, Bahrain, Emirates, Saudi Arabia, obviously, all of them are thanking Israel. But you know what is the most shocking thing is? We managed to expose the Iranian regime to the Arab world because, listen to this, you know that the Palestinians in Gaza are in total shock from what's going on here and the fact that the Iranian regime agreed to a ceasefire. Listen to this, they're asking a very simple question. What about us? We thought the whole thing is about us. So here's what happened. When Hamas invaded Israel on the 7th of October and massacred 1,200 Israelis, both Arabs and Jews, by the way, and kidnapped several hundreds, both Arabs and Jews. And that day on the 7th of October, Hamas thought, as the proxy of Iran, Iran would fire their ballistic missiles and attack Israel. When we destroyed Hezbollah, destroyed the largest proxy and maybe the strongest proxy of Iran, Hezbollah and the Lebanese thought that Iran will fire ballistic missiles at Israel. Did not happen. When we destroyed the Ansarullah in Iraq, when we destroyed an entire army of Syria, of Bashar al-Assad, the butcher Bashar al-Assad, not even a single ballistic missile was fired. And when we destroyed and bombed the Houthis in Yemen, another proxy of Iran, not even a single ballistic missile was fired at Israel. That itself was the evidence that the Iranian regime cared about only the Iranian regime and never cared about the Arab nations, never cared about any Arab country. And in fact, they conquered and destroyed all the Arab countries. This has happened. The fact that we exposed them, it's even bigger. I'm telling you, when it comes to the Arab world, it's even bigger achievement than the nuclear side. Obviously for us, the nuclear side is more important because it is on our security and on our life. But when it comes to achievement in the Arab world, Israel managed to expose how the Iranian regime just abandoned the Arab world. Because imagine this, in the last 12 days, they fired several hundreds of ballistic missiles, did some damage in facilities, in civilian facilities and buildings in Israel. You saw the destructions, and we never hid it, yeah, because we want to show the world how the Iranian regime is targeting civilians, while we are targeting seniors from the IRGC and scientists who wants to bring a bomb to the world, a nuclear bomb, in order for them to, bomb everybody and threat everybody. We targeted those facilities and those scientists, and they targeted civilians. And at the same time, they completely forgot about the Arab world. And the fact that we exposed them, you really need to listen to the voices from Gaza. They are totally in shock. I have shared some of those videos. They're saying, we thought that you were fighting for us. No, the Iranian regime was fighting only for the Iranian regime. And that's why it goes back to the first comment when I said, we need to eliminate the IRGC in order for us to free the Iranian people who supported Israel and to secure our security, whether it's in the Middle East or in the Western world.
Well, fingers crossed they do get the job done, because I think definitely toppling the sort of lunatic, zealous theocracy over in Tehran would make the world a much safer place. Wonderful to have such an animated conversation. That's Yosef Haddad, who's an Arab-Israeli journalist. Brilliant. First time on the show. We'll have him back.